I didn't realize this, but you're an author.
Yeah.
You have written books before.
Yeah.
And what surprised me, somebody had told me that you've written children's books.
Yep.
But mystery? You've done mystery?
I've done 9 murder mysteries and 3 children's books. And to me, at the heart of a mystery is a dead body. And I like to advance the action early. So if you're in the title character in my book, you're going to go early. For example, I had a radio DJ that was involved. Was involved with 3 different women, and one was a news anchor, one was the daughter of the town minister, and another woman. And so he winds up getting killed. And the book was all about what he did to make that happen. And so, I try to pick different topics that I know about. I wrote about a murder around a cruise ship and different things like that. It's a fun little retreat. One thing that people don't realize is I really don't watch a lot of TV. I've worked in television for 30 years, but other than, a football game, maybe a little WWE wrestling or Law and Order rerun, I don't really watch TV.
Well, Mike, I was going to say, with that on the brain, Dateline seems right up your alley. You don't watch it.
I don't watch that kind of stuff. No, to me, I like to use my own imagination. And before I had kids, I did a lot of writing. It was something I did for a hobby. I don't do as much now because my 3 daughters take up a lot of time. Right. But as they get older and start going on their own, I'm going to get back into it. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah. Now, I have a 3-year-old. He's soon to be 4. He's a boy. You've raised girls.
Yeah.
My challenge right now is getting him to go number 2, poop on the potty.
Oh God, yeah.
So what's your trick? How did you do it?
You got to make it, when they do it, you got to make it the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Celebrate
every time. You got to give them a cheer. You got to go to Target and buy a little toy or a treat or something. And if you do that, you give them that positive reinforcement, and all of a sudden they go with it, man. Yeah, because he'll know this is something I'm supposed to do. This is a good thing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's draining at times, and here I am bemoaning a little bit, the fact that here I've got 1.
Yeah.
You 3 daughters.
I've got 3 daughters. I've got 1 at Ball State. I've got 1 in middle school, 1 in elementary school, and I'm gonna tell you, you think the potty training is a challenge? You ain't seen nothing yet, man. Oh boy, you're in for some. There's a lot of stuff on down the road that'll be coming your way. Yeah.
What has been the most fun for you, though?
The most fun is just watching them go from one stage to the other. Like my oldest daughter, who's now at Ball State, watching her learn to ride a bike. When she was really little, she was afraid of puffer fish. And once she outgrew that, you just watch them go through different stages. My middle child was born allergic to eggs, nuts, corn, wheat, tomatoes, and soy. Couldn't have anything, Wow. We had to see all these specialists. And one thing I wanted her to have was ice cream. One of the main ingredients in ice cream is egg. So I went and bought one of the old ice cream makers to make ice cream. And they were just fascinated that Daddy could make ice cream in the backyard. And probably the coolest thing about having kids is you and I are just regular guys,
Yeah.
But to your kid, you're like a superhero.
Right.
And when you go out in the world and deal with, whatever, when you come home, you're a big deal to them. They're going to outgrow it, so enjoy it while you got it.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of has, or I'd say most people have, maybe some type of a connection to somebody famous.
Yeah.
What's yours? Do you have, is it a family member dating way back, or somebody that...
No, I don't really have a connection, but I've met a lot of famous people.
Who's the most famous?
I met Bill Cosby years ago. I met Al Roker. Because the Today Show came to town when I was in Cincinnati down there, so I met the team down there. And a lot of the network people that you see on different shows, like Taya Leone and Ted Danson and stuff, you'll get a chance to meet them.
Right.
And like they do a junket for the new show that's coming up, and you'll get to go in and you'll talk to them for 10 or 15 minutes. They're not going to remember you, but it's cool. You get to meet them, you get a picture. Yeah.
How was Cosby though?
He was hilarious. And then after the way things turned out, you could see the charm that got him into trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I got to tell you what, Chris, I've had this argument with I don't know how many friends. When you think of the Mount Rushmore of comedians, I still put him up there. And I've had people say, "Oh, you can't because of what happened." And I said, "No, I can because I can appreciate his talents."
You can separate the two.
Absolutely.
Some people can't do that.
Well, and look at the laughter and the happiness that he did provide with his comedy for decades.
Yeah.
And this was a side of his personal life that it is unfortunate.
It really is. It's sad, Yeah.
If meteorology, if you didn't go down that path, if you didn't go down the path of writing, what would you have done? Yet early on, if there was something like, I would have loved to have done that.
There were 2 things I wanted to be as a kid when I was growing up. I wanted to be a pro wrestler, I really wanted to be a pro wrestler, and I really wanted to be a football player. And I'll add a third one. I wanted to be a game show host. More than I wanted to be a weatherman, I wanted to be a game show host.
I can see the game show host.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I moved to Sacramento with my boss, who took a job, and we went out there. And the main reason I moved to Sacramento was so I could go down to LA and do game show auditions.
Right.
Yeah. And I went down. They were going to bring back the Newlywed Game and the dating game. And I went down for the audition. There were 4,000 guys in for the audition. And that's when I realized that's probably not going to happen for you. There was a comedian, Jeff McGregor was his name.
Okay.
And he was supposed to be the rising star. And at that point, everybody thought he was going to be the Ryan Seacrest kid.
Oh.
He was that popular
Right.
on the LA scene. And he was one of the ones. And then they came down to the final analysis. And I think they gave one of the shows to Paul Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. And I think they wound up bringing Bob Eubank back to do the reboot of the Newlywed Game, because they realized nobody can do it better than him, just have him do it.
No.
But it was funny when I went in for the audition and I saw how many guys, and we were all from Indiana and Iowa and Tennessee, and I thought, you have all these guys all around the country who've got that same dream. That's probably not going to happen for you. Maybe I'll stick with that weather thing. It seemed to be working well, and I never looked back. Yeah.
What's one thing that most people don't know about you that they might be surprised over? It might be a phobia. It might be a collection you collect. What's something odd that people don't know about Chris?
I played the saxophone in high school, and I was very, very good. But the problem I had was that everybody told me I was very, very good. So I never got any better. And so now when I went into television and I could see that it was going to go well for me, no matter how great people told me I was, I had never believed it. Because the moment you believe that, you stop getting better. You stop working at it. Yeah. All my fun collection stuff my wife made me sell when we got married. I used to have a couple of WWE championship belts. Yeah, that had to go. So, stuff like that.
You couldn't even keep those in your man cave.
No.
Had to go.
Had to go. Yeah, because my man cave became the playroom for the kids.
There was no room for the WWE belts.
We don't need this stuff. It's got to go. It's like if you don't get rid of it, I'm just gonna put it in a box in the garage. It's like, well, I'll just sell it and let some other guy enjoy it.
What would have been your wrestling name?
I don't know, but I was really into when I grew up in Tennessee in Memphis. We didn't have professional sports. The only professional sport we had was wrestling.
Right.
So that's what you grew up with. And I remember there was a time when the #1 show in the country was Dallas, and Who Shot J.R.
Absolutely.
Hughes. Okay, you know what the #1 show was in Memphis? Championship Wrestling.
Really?
It used to beat Dallas back in that time.
Big?
It was that big, man. It was that big because that was our thing, professional wrestling. And I remember you could go and you could buy a $2 ticket on a Monday night at Mid-South Coliseum, and the bus ride was $1. And for $3, man, you could go and you could watch it. And if you believe it, it's real. And the one thing that non-wrestling fans will never understand is that, no, you don't understand. I believe that. I believe that guy got hit in the head with that chair, and he's going to get him a fight back.
You're into it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
As many fans are, like you said, they don't want to hear the naysayers. Let me enjoy the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a movie. Let me just be there.
And you realize that you got to really suspend belief, but if you can, it's enjoyable.
Chris the Tsunami. Chris the Tornado.
I like that. Yeah.
Something has to be weather related now. I mean, if there was ever a chance to put your wrestling name out there, it has to have a good Thunderbolt title.
It'd have to be something, because it has to be something dealing with being thin, because I didn't really gain much weight till I got into my 30s. I think when I graduated high school, I may have weighed 135 pounds, and I was this height. So, I mean,
no. You weren't going to compete with the big guys.
No, they would crush me.
Or throw you.
and that would be real.